Hello, 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 hi, and welcome back. We are here, VibeCheck, with the people as standards. We have Mr. Kai Shaw, greatest friends. Trimmed himself apparently in quarantine. I can't just turn your head to the side. Let me just have a look.
Oh, I haven't done it now.
Oh, exactly. Oh, okay, right. Well,
I haven't done it now.
Well,
You see,
well.
no,
You see this?
Aruna,
You see this?
Aruna, do your thing, please.
The girl.
Do your thing,
The
please.
girl.
Aruna, do your thing, please. Listen, yeah. Let me not even talk too much, yeah. Below me is Aruna Jalla, spiritual man of many talents.
Thank you.
And who are you introducing, Aruna?
So today, I'm introducing artistic director who holds the keys. Doesn't really hold the keys, but holds something new, and it's a trim.
Come on.
Clap it up.
Thank you. Basically, it's my first trip out of quarantine. I'm a new man.
Do you know what? I really want to see the pre-trim photos.
There's photos out there. I need to make a GIF. But as you're hearing, we've got our special guest today, Melissa Sain, actor, artistic director of the Spice Collective, singer as well. She wants to keep that on the low, but it's there. It's out there for the people.
Clap it up.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, wow.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm actually just glad to be back in my house because I've been out doing some stuff, and so it's just nice to be like home.
Sit down, nice little chit chat. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna hop right in. And the first song is always the song that our guests listen to just before coming on the episode, per se, production timeline and that. So the song Melissa sent was Voodoo featuring Buddy by Shaylia. Listen, I love me a little flute with the little like mid-90s R&B vibes. This is what I'm here for, especially with the little skit at the end. Like that's proper 90s R&B back in day. I'm here for it.
That's exactly what I was gonna say as well. That little skit proper took me back.
It's nice.
Proper took me back.
Bro.
It's so nice.
What are you saying about this song though? Where did you first hear it, or why is
Do you
it
know,
something that's in your rotation?
it was one of those. If I remember correctly, it was one of those that came on a song radio. I don't remember which song radio it was, but it was on a song radio, and I just went, "Hold up, what is this that I'm listening to? Let me just rewind it and find out what this song is, because I don't know. My ears are ringing right now." So that was me, and then it's now like on my. So I've just started learning to like roller skate, and it's on my skate playlist. It's like it's smooth, so it's nice to kind of skate to and just move and like glide to, you know. Yeah, it's like me just basically thinking I look cool, but I don't quite yet. But the song makes me feel cool. So.
Hey, listen, as long as you ain't falling over in public, you're fine.
I'm
It's all
good,
about the mindset.
Yeah, I'm having a ball. Like it's great. Yeah, I'm doing. I'm doing a good job.
I'm kind of jealous because when like I've been doing roller skating, it doesn't work out well like at all. Like it was mad. Like I fell over a lot of times, and it's painful. So like you're not falling over at all.
No, so okay.
So
I'm teaching myself. So basically, obviously, like the last time I skated, and these are the quads, not rollerblading, because my ankles probably aren't strong enough for those. So I must have been about 7 or 8, maybe. And I was like, I want to be one of those cool people. They just look so cool. You see them like skating down the street. I'm like, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try. And so I think I got them about a week ago. Well, maybe it's just over a week now. And I went out. I skated for 4 hours. I fell down once. On my life, I fell down once. I put the skates on my friends 2 days ago, and she fell down in like 2 minutes. It was wild. But I fell down once. Yeah. And maybe I'm on like day 6 on them. I feel like it's about day 6, different lengths and times. But otherwise, I do about 3.5 hours when I can. And I've only fallen down 3 times. And I can skate backwards. I can turn. I can spin turn. I'm doing like bubbles and crossovers back and forward.
Hey,
so I'm pretty proud of
amazing.
myself that I've only fallen down 3 times. I'm like, do you know what, Aruna? Yeah, like I'll try and give you lessons. It's all right. Yeah, because you sound like a disaster, but I'm here to help you.
You sound like a disaster. No. Take a lap. Aruna, take a lap.
My days. Next question.
really just cut your video off.
You're getting real, bro.
It's just no.
Nah.
No, but seriously, it's good fun. Do you know? And the thing is, I was like, I'm gonna make sure I have knee pads, elbow pads, a helmet, and that the first time I get on, just because I'm really not trying to destroy myself.
You heard it here first, kids. Safety first.
Yeah, and now I'm like, cool. I'm actually all right. I can hold it.
I've decided skating of any kind is not for me because the height is too much of an imbalance. I'll start moving. The wind starts affecting you. You know when you get that talk? Yeah. You can't do it. The balance is off. 4 wheels, whatever. It's not for me. 2 wheels on a bike, clean.
Wow.
When it's on your feet, no. It's not the one.
I have thought a couple times, like, who told me this was a good idea? When I've like almost fallen over, but I catch my balance, and you know when you just I feel like my whole life is just going, boom. And I'm like, who told me that this was a good idea, please? And my friend is so good. He's a speed skater. You might know him, like Jack Matthews, an actor and like presenter and stuff. And he is so good on the skates. He's been skating for ages. So I watch his video and I watch all the Avengers, and I'm just like, I want to be them. And then I get on the skates, I'm like, you know what? And then I carry on.
Woo! It's so good to have like a skill that you can kind of like come out of this lockdown period though. I was saying to these guys earlier, I've been doing a bunch of stuff on it's not in the same category as skating by any chance, but stuff on Adobe After Effects. I just feel like gassing myself up because we made a new intro for the post show, which you can subscribe to our Patreon to check out. Made a new intro for that, and I'm not gonna lie, for me it's a bit wavy.
Okay,
but
I'm looking forward to
it.
I'm looking forward to it.
So we'll move on to the song selection section, as we like to call it. So we send our guests 9 songs. If you don't know this already, the songs are up on the screen at the moment. We're when the editors thrown them in. And the song we have got is New Apartment by Ari Lennox. Kai and Aruna, what do you think this one is?
Again, so I said this earlier, but you picked 3 songs that could be multiple answers on this thing. So you've done well, first of all. So big ups to you. I want to say this is your shower song.
This is what I'm saying as well. This is big shower vibes.
That's damn, a song that inspires you.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
A song that inspires you.
Cool.
What is the answer?
Do I give you the answer now?
Yeah.
You're actually right, Aruna. It is a song that inspires me. You're actually right. I had so many like different options, and what does it? Because you kind of go, okay, sometimes a song can inspire you from like the melody, instrumental, just all of that. Or sometimes it's actually the lyrics in the song. Maybe it's just the vibe and it just picks you up and makes you feel inspired. So I was kind of going through like, I have some soca jams that are just live when I hear them. But this for me, I was just like, cool, I want to, that's like goals, not as in, being able to be like, I just bought this and I just got this and it's mine and I can do what I want with it because I've earned it and I've put the graft in to get to, these things or get to wherever it is I'm going. And so that's that on that level. So well done.
When did you get your new apartment?
Me, I don't have one yet, but I will be having it.
Manifestation.
Yes, manifestation. That's
what
it is. Yeah, I listen to it, I'm like, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be, I'm on my way. So
amen, innit?
I respect it. I think it highly.
What are your thoughts upon like goals and stuff? Like, I think because the song is very like manifest. Well, she's talking about like, I've wanted this and now I've got it. Essentially, like if you were to really like boil it down, I want this and got this. Like, how do you like set yourself goals for whether those be career or life or whatever? They like. So for me, I'll speak about myself just because it's easier. It's like a jump point. I kind of have an overarching like, this is a huge thing I want to lead in the sky. So that's, and everything small kind of leads up to that. But I don't set myself small goals, because for me, if you're trying to live yourself, you're like, right, I need to get to this and it's just you lose out on living a part of life for me. But yeah, I'm interested to know, because you've achieved so much already, which is phenomenal.
Do you know what? I cannot lie, I really have. In the past year, I've achieved a lot of stuff and I can't believe it, honestly. And I'm just like, well done. But I think I kind of do the bigger things. And when I was kind of going, okay, I want to make this change in my life, and I only got back into acting maybe like 2 years ago, maybe just over 2 years ago, I think. And getting there was difficult because I had to overcome that fear and be like, no, you know, just swallow your fear and go for it. But I kind of had to go, okay, what are these bigger goals? And then I broke them down into smaller things that I could potentially achieve that I would have to achieve in order to get to that bigger thing. Maybe some of them can be skipped along the way, but it's kind of like a way to track so you're not just doing things aimlessly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I broke the bigger goal down into smaller goals, but they weren't as important. They were just guidelines to get to the big goal. So like, even if, for example, I don't get to that big goal in a certain amount of time, I can still look back at the other things that I've achieved and be like, no, but you're on the way there and this is going to come. So that, kind of there's that sense of still having a positivity around maybe not achieving things. Yeah. And I think that came from setting myself a big goal and not having the smaller ones, and then basically feeling bad about it. And then I went, hold on, let me think about what it is that I have done this year so I can say, no, you are making progress, or you've done these things and life gets in the way. Do you know what I mean? And so then I went, okay, balance. How do we do both of those things? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about real quickly just about, because you mentioned sort of the fear of, I guess for most actors it is kind of the industry and dealing with things like rejection and whatnot and blah blah blah. But like, do you want to talk about what specifically your fears were when you kind of came back into acting?
Do you know, I feel like the first thing for me, and it sounds ridiculous, but it's straight facts and it's how I felt. I felt like I felt like I was too old, but I know that I'm not, and I knew that I wasn't, but I kind of was looking for spaces to get back into things just to kind of, see if it was something I could do after I'd been asking questions and like kind of going, if this isn't for me, I don't want to do it. Don't set me on this path. If it is, show me some signs. Like, I'm like ancestors, I'm like universe, I'm like all of you are working, together. Just show me. And I think going into those spaces and then speaking to other young actors, and I specifically was putting myself in spaces where I could find other young Black actors, because I'd already been in spaces with white ones. I was like, I'm back in London and I want to make the most of that. And it was like talking to them, and you know how everyone that's young kind of looks older now anyway. Like, everyone looks the same age. And I'm talking to these people like, yeah, I'm with the in crew. And then I'm like, oh, how old are you? They're like, oh, I'm like 19 and I'm going to drama school. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm going, oh my God, I have this many years on you. Oh, I'm not even in it, That was really scary. And then also, obviously, just the fear of failure. And I'm like, I know what I want to achieve, and everyone has those goals, but how many of us actually achieve them? And how many of us actually strive and continue until we get to that place? So the fear of failure. I think also the fear of like what my family was gonna say, and they're super supportive and they have been, but it was still that thing where I go, okay, I'm at this age now, and then I've got my friends around me, and this person is in this long-term relationship and has this job and is potentially getting married and is doing this with their life, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I am shooken. Like, body clock's ticking, all of that. And so it's a lot of fear of a lot of things. But I think I think the biggest thing that I was afraid of was probably myself and what I'm capable of. Like, knowing, I know I have so much, I've known that I have a lot of potential. And I read this thing which was like, don't be afraid of your light. And it hit me so hard. And I was like, that is literally me. Like, I'm afraid of what I'm capable of achieving because I feel like it's so grand. Not to sound like really big, but like, I just have this feeling. I'm like, okay, cool. Step into it. So we trying to step
into. We love it, man. We love it. Should we hit the next one? Next song?
Yeah. So the next song he sent in was "Stars Align" by Leah Ike. I want to say that sounds
Lila
correct.
Ike, yeah, Lila Ike.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, I'm saying this is a song that's helped you creatively, but it's another one that could be like the other answers to the questions, which is tactical.
Nah, yeah, this is the one that baffled me the most. I'm gonna go with the same as Ben. Actually, a song that's helped you creatively.
Shower tune, but in the afternoon. Like it can be an afternoon.
This guy always comes with the specific times.
Because
I don't want to say shower.
Between 1:22 and 1:41, that's when you can play this song in the shower.
Yeah, you're right.
It's actually. Oh, okay. Well,
I knew it.
Arena's 2 for 2.
You're right. Well done.
Why is this
you're in tune. You can ask why, but is there anything answer?
No.
It's a vibe. Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. I can just imagine like you getting, you've had like your day, maybe your days, particularly in this lockdown period, where there's no time frame. No one's getting up at this time and doing this, and I'm kind of like, cool, I've done this. I planted a bunch of vegetables. I've got a little like garden out the front, so I'll be outside. I'll do my, I'm watering my vegetables. I'm tending to them, and then I'll be like, cool. Now it's time for me to come in and clean off any dirt from outside, any whatever it is. And I'm like, this is a vibe, and it's an interesting song. I really love the artist. Oh my god, I love her.
She's hard. Like, thank you. That's what I have to say to you. Thank you, because I listened to the entire album after I listened to that one song. I was like, alright, cool, yeah, bet.
Yeah. Do you know how I discovered her? So there are about like 4 other black, well, they're female. I don't even say they're from Jamaica, innit? So everyone, they're all black. It's great. But like, so there's 4 other artists, and they did like a BBC live thing out in Jamaica, and they did, I can't remember, they had the same like rhythm, and they all obviously had their own songs, and they dropped that as like the album. You should listen to it. I'm gonna send it to you guys after.
Yes, please.
And I was like, do you know how much joy this fills me with to see these women doing their thing? They all have but they vibe so well. They have their own like taste. They're and I listened to them all individually, but she specifically, I think it's because she has a very soulful voice. And so for me, like growing up and singing, I always felt like I actually have a very complicated relationship with my voice, because I feel like I don't like it, but other people like my voice because they're like, it's so soulful. But there's that like, typical stereotypical sound that people are like, yeah, black women sound like this, and I don't sound like that, and I don't have all of those other things. And so it was only like, say, Leanne Havas, Corinne Bailey Ray, when they have like that new introduction of like neo soul, softer sounds in terms of vocals. And I mean, we have some of that as well before, but I kind of identify with that. And so listening to her, and I love reggae music, I always feel like I'll be like, soulful reggae, people are like, what's that? I'm like, if you don't know what soulful reggae is, I can't explain it to you. But that's what I feel like she is. I love it. And so it's just
fully.
Kindred.
Can I ask you something about I guess this is going to go into like spirituality as well, but you mentioned in terms of stepping into your power, and just to go on chakras, your diaphragm, the solar plexus, is where your willpower comes from. So when you breathe into that, that's where a lot of your power, that's your life source, right?
Wait, can you say that again? Sorry, say that again.
Okay,
say that again. You said just to talk about chakras, and then
your solar plex, which is your diaphragm, where you breathe into, that's your power source, if you like. That's your engine that keeps you running. And you said that other people like your voice, but you don't like it so much. So I'm just bringing. Are you seeing where I'm tying this into in terms of stepping into your own power and the power of your voice? And
yeah, I think that's really important. But that's I said a complicated relationship because I have, in like, let's say, recent years, kind of just been like, this is my voice, and it's different in these ways. And loads of artists now especially love to throw around like 100 riffs and do all of and I've always been more of a clean singer, and so I also then struggle with that because I love what that person's doing, but actually that's something that I don't do a lot of, and I had to be like, that's okay. But yeah, I feel I don't dislike my voice now. Like, I don't feel weird about it. I do listen to, obviously, other people and you're like, oh, they sound like it, but I'm like, no, that's the way I sound, and you have to get used to it, don't you? Yeah, but I love my voice. Now, I think all the time, it's kind of have to, don't you? You have to, because what else are you gonna do? I can't get a new one. I can't like transplant my voice box. It's not gonna work. Yeah, and that's really important. Thank you for even highlighting that, because I think that's something that I'll be like, oh yeah. If I'm ever doing something, I'm like, I don't like the way that sounds. Why do I sound like? I'm like, oh no, because that's just me.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, because that's something I'm learning too as well. Just the power of you being you. Like, that's the best thing, knowing that you're enough. Yeah. And that's in a world where we see so many things and easily distracted and try and, get things onto us. But
you have to remind yourself, and when you're doing like auditions and you're doing all of those things, you really have to remind yourself that you didn't get cast because you're not good. You just didn't get cast because it wasn't for you. And I just did a commercial thing, and it was a tape, and they asked the question like, what makes you unique? And I was like, I hate that kind of question. Like, I don't know what makes me unique. I'm not here trying to be like, oh, I'm this, that. I'm just trying to live my truth and be who I am. And so I just answered the question with what makes me unique. I just said, like, I am myself, because there's nobody else like me. And then to elaborate on that, that's the thing that we need to all be trying to just be ourselves, because it's really easy to be influenced and to feel insecure looking at other people and other people's journeys and just all of those things and wanting what they have. And actually just need to learn to be yourself, and that in itself is a uniqueness, because we all have our own individual qualities that make us who we are.
I think also taking time to understand what those are as well. Like, as people, there's definitely been times when I'm like, oh, I don't know who I am in this type of moment, or this type of person, what this quality is, and taking time to properly like deep dive into your own personality and what you stand for and who you are, so that you can accentuate those things more. I was on a call recently with Ree Murrell and I think her name's Laura White, just with a bunch of other mixed race people speaking about identity and such. And the question was pitched was like, what is special about what is being mixed race to you? And I said that my entire being is just a celebration. And since then, that's been something that I've really kind of rode upon. And when I say my entire being is celebration, it's a celebration of love between my parents. It's a celebration of cultures coming together and mixing and combining. And everything I do with my life is a product of that celebration. Therefore, my entire being is a celebration. And I think boiling that down to that one statement is something that I found really beneficial. And that was this week. That's in the last 7 days. Like, I knew myself from before, but you find little things just through going through different life experiences.
That was just yesterday. I think that's really important. We need to, I think, hold on to that. And the thing is, we will like continue to learn about ourselves, obviously. There's always going to be a new lesson that we kind of take on board, or but I'm glad that that's something that you're taking with you in your life journey now.
Thank you. Cool. Move on to the next song, which was Empress by Ray Black. Big tune.
Right.
I want Arenas to go first, because I realize Arena goes last in all of them. So Arena's going first.
So you guys are going to copy his answers, yeah.
No, I've got my answer written down. It's on the phone.
I had my answer from this morning. Go ahead, Aruna.
Theme tune.
Yeah, Kai, you're doing poorly.
This is the worst episode I've done.
I've been taking L's, Kai. Welcome to my boat.
No, I don't like this. I'm hopping off next time.
We'll see. We're going to find out. The stop's coming up. Aruna, what are you saying?
I said theme tune.
theme tune. Okay.
See, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay. See,
So
yeah, see, it's convenient, isn't
sure?
it? It's real convenient.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm saying it's a song that sums up your work. That I have a backup, but
Mm.
we'll say that once you actually reveal the
Wow.
answer.
All of those are very valid, obviously, but that's not what it was.
Okay.
So it's actually the production. It's the song that reminds me of my last production.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the production and how does it remind you?
It was so the last production was Pineapple, which is a play that I wrote, co-wrote with Chantal, and we kind of obviously have produced it within the company. It's our debut piece of work, and it's very interesting because there's lots of songs that could have been picked for that question. And I didn't want to go for the obvious one because I knew you'd all get it. If I played anyway, if I put Toast in there, then we'd have
Okay,
If I put a few of the songs that you would have heard, that would be, something that would be too obvious. But it was actually when we did the first ever sort of R&D back with Black Tris in November of 2018, and it was terrible. But we had to do it to get to where we are now. When you just produce something and it's this is the worst thing I've ever done.
Yep. Oh, been there too many times.
We persevere. I was doing it and I was like, I hate myself right now, but I have to do this, growing pains. And that was the song that we had to kind of bring the audience in, but it was really annoying because it was stuck on repeat. They didn't play the playlist, they just played that song on repeat. So whilst we were waiting for the audience to filter in in place on stage, it was just on repeat. Do 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 the whole time.
Really forcing the vibe.
It was actually kind of traumatic, but it's we couldn't listen to the song for ages after that. But it was also this is in a sense our theme tune for us, and why we want to create this work and what we want to say to ourselves and these other young Black women and other just people who are marginalized and things like that. It was no, you are amazing, you are you're royalty, and just know that. And so it was that, but that's what reminds me of.
That's amazing.
Imagine we're waiting for people to come in. The doors open from 7:30. Let's say they didn't start the show until 15, 20 minutes later because people were late, and we're just there 20 minutes listening to this song on repeat
7 times.
It's songs like that. It's songs like that just make the company law though. You have that backstory about the jokes about that one time that we listened to Ray Black 7 times in a row, waiting in the wings in the dark.
It was hard.
Tell us a bit about Spice though. Let's yeah. Let's assume the listeners don't know who Spice are. Let's pick up the company.
Okay,
Tell us what
Spice
you're about.
Collective. Spice Collective with a Y. First of all, it's very important that we know that it's not the Y. It actually stands for Stay Proud, Your Crush Expectation, just to be extra. And it's just a little reminder to ourselves, people have their stereotypical views and thoughts about us, but we are going to exceed those expectations. We strive to exceed them, and we already do because the stereotypes. But also remember, and so we are a group of there are 4 of us. I want to say we are theatre makers, but we're just artists. So we're a mixture of singers, writers, and just people that have kind of just grown up doing arts. I want to say we're probably on the way at some point to becoming a production company because there are lots of things that we want to do. At the moment, theatre company, we're all from different parts of London, and we met at IDSA when we were training for a short while. And it was really from having these conversations about, I remember just going, guys, I'm stepping into this industry and I'm thinking through all the roles that are going to be available to me. And I'm going, I don't want to play any of those roles, the roles that I see people that look like me playing. And I was like, I don't want to play those roles. Or if I'm doing a play, I don't want to play the things that I've seen people doing. Good to them, but and so we kind of started unpicking the things that we don't see, as in terms of reflection of ourselves as young Black women, just to talk about the women by themselves, and we were like, yeah, I want to do this kind of role and I want to do that role. And so that's how we kind of started Pineapple, and decided we were going to create a piece of work, the journey of that play, it's still not even finished, which is the craziest thing. We've had like really big platforms to test it on. And so people think it's a complete piece of work and we're like, no, that was like just the second draft of the play. That's literally us. But we were talking about like, okay, what are the stereotypes? What do we want to see? What stories haven't we seen? What do we want to say to ourselves? What do we want to say to our nieces, our nephews, our younger siblings, our cousins, the people that are coming after us? And what can we do to like sort of change that in some way?
I think you're the first company leader we've had on the show as well. So I'm interested to know, what has the process been like for you setting up that company and keeping it running? Because I know it's not easy, but I feel like some people, I say it to them multiple times, they don't quite understand. So,
do you know what? If I didn't have a goal in life, I would have quit. If I wasn't trying to achieve something, I would have said, this is a lot. It's a lot, especially when you're kind of trying to establish yourself. And it's that thing where I'm an emerging actor, and I'm trying to develop my acting career. And I actually started writing the play as a means to progress in terms of my journey as an actor, which was great. It was lucky because I got signed last year off the back of Pineapple, which was great. And I'm like, still. So that happened. But it was also one of those things where we go, there's no one else doing this specific kind of thing that we want to do. This is our age group. But it's been difficult because it's utilizing all of those skills, trying to make connections at the same time. And I network, I just talk to everybody, but keeping on top of like doing my, say, day job, my casual job that, gives me money now whilst I have to do free work, as we all do. And then also trying to find ways to train, because I had already used up my student loan in university and I didn't study drama, so we can't do that now. So trying to find ways to train, as well as then having a company. You literally have like 4 jobs, but then in the company it's that whole thing of like, doing the admin, doing the marketing, thinking of things that people haven't thought about, and chasing everyone to make sure that they've done the things that they've got deadlines to do. And it's tiring, it's really exhausting, and people kind of look to you as like the face of, oh yeah, okay, or we'll ask you questions. And sometimes that was just the point where I was like, I'm having a meltdown. Don't ask me enough. I can't do it. Somebody pick me up. I'm drowning. And you're just like, but then I struggle with like, I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist, but I have a standard of doing things. And so I struggle if something is below my standard, even just because of like other external factors. But I also then and I'm still trying to like let go of the reins and trying to make sure I delegate things and try to trust other people with, tasks or work or whatever it is that we need to have done. And also Arts Council funding forms.
Don't get me started.
I'm not a producer. I didn't train. Oh, hello. I didn't train to do that. So my Siri, I got so mad that Siri decided to talk.
Calm down.
It's hard, but it's also really like rewarding.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the rewarding bits? Because it's so easy to be like, this is shit and this is awful and I hate it all. But
when things don't go right, it's horrible. That is, but I also know I'm doing it. I know I'm doing it, and that's the drive, and that's what keeps it going. The rewarding things, is when you set something up, and it might not go to plan. It might not go to plan, but you achieve it, you finish it, you get your feedback. You know, people either like for us, we didn't know how Pineapple was going to be received, and it wasn't a finished piece of work. So that's really scary because you're putting something out, but it's incomplete. So people are going to judge you on the basis of this work, and you're like, it's not actually finished. Also, we've only had this much time to work on it. It's like, you know, when you go to auditions and they give you 5 minutes to come up with some devised piece of something, and you're like, don't judge me on this because I'm actually a better actor. But this is not representative of what I'm capable of.
Cannot tell you how happy I am. I'm not an actor.
It's hard. But when people like have like come to us and been like, you know, this piece of work does this to me, it has everything in it, I feel like this, I feel inspired, I feel blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell this person to come and watch it, you know, this person needs to see it, I feel like this. And it's like, okay, that's great, because that's kind of that's the whole point of this. That's the whole reason why I'm ripping my hair out and I've been bleeding, sweating, crying, figuratively speaking.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's also really nice when you kind of, when you have those achievements. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have watched I May Destroy You by Queen Michaela Cole.
Yeah.
But one of our cast members who plays the hairdresser in the play and soon come TV series, because I'm in the middle of writing to keep an eye out for it. It bangs, by the way. I'm so excited. Ooh. Anyway, but like it was it's just had like her debut, you know, appearance, and was in that, and that was kind of like off the back of Pineapple as well, which is really nice. Like we've achieved these things through doing that. So yeah, outweighs the bad, really.
Yeah, come on. Big up to you. Big up to Spice every time. Love what you guys are doing, and make sure you're staying in tune if you're not already. So we're going to move on to the final song, which is the song that we send the guests just to get their thoughts on, general vibes. And this song was Unity by the one and only Buju Banton of his new album. Can't remember what the album's name is. I'm going to load it up now. Upside Down 2020. What were you saying about this song?
Do you know what? Actually, what was it? I really liked it, by the way. I started playing it, and it's something I haven't had this, obviously, and I'm glad I hadn't. It is fresh.
It came out last week as well.
Fresh! I was literally going, when I tell you I was going, why haven't I heard this song? I'm like, this Afrofuturism, like, fella cute, like, all kinds of vibes in this that's blowing my mind, and it's from my man Buju, like, yes, and his voice, woo-hoo, is everything. But that message as well is also very powerful. At some points I was kind of going, it's that really annoying thing where we feel like we have to make the distinction between like African and Caribbean, which is annoying because I feel like we do, but I also feel like we shouldn't have to, if that makes sense. Like, I know what, like, yeah, does that make sense?
Go deeper.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 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 So, I feel like, you know, by making that separation or making that distinction separates us when we need to, as he says, we need to unify, right? But it's important to acknowledge those distinctions because of the history of the distinctions, the history of those people and what their trajectories have been in life. And so I talk a lot about in conversations generally when I'm having something, you know, around this, but I'm just trying to bring this back to you. Right, okay. So obviously I'm of Caribbean heritage in terms of my close family, obviously, you know. So I'm from Grenada, and it's that weird thing where it's just kind of changing now, which is nice. But I have like friends, you know, who are of like Nigerian heritage, and for them, their prospects and life goals have always been university, to become a lawyer, to become like a doctor, to become something like very, very successful jobs. University is the option. And I know for me and for a lot of people that come from like the West Indies, the Caribbean islands, we're like workers. We kind of, you know, if I was the first person to go to university out of my family, in like this kind of generation, first person to get a degree, and I compare this to like one of my friends, and just looking at the difference in that type of life and kind of how we've lived and how we've had to live and the opportunities or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like the mentality, the attitudes, and that is a product of our history, and being separated from, you know, the things that we are creators of and inherently are ours. Just, I feel like that distinction has to be made because I feel all of that history. I feel all of that history, and I know that there's also that conversation which people have, you know, about resentment and why for such a long time people from the Caribbean and people that are like from West Africa or whatever kind of have had like this little dislike or clash or discord between each other. And so that's kind of, if I hope I've gone deep enough in explaining this. That's what I mean. I like, it's annoying that we have to separate each other, especially in times in current, you know, in the current climate, where we just can't even be like, but I'm from this place. And no, we are one we are one, and we need to be one, because otherwise we're not winning this game, and we are not coming out of this, you know? We cannot uprise. We need to be, we can't be divided. We have to be unified. Yeah. That makes sense. But otherwise, the song slaps. Yeah, I'm literally gonna play it after.
The whole album's cold.
Vibe.
Yeah.
The album's cold. And listen, John Legend.
Yeah.
Because hey, my man came on a reggae tune.
Okay. He did his thing.
I was in shock. But big ups to him, because boy, that was a performance.
I can't wait to.
I can't say the same about his album.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was saying to the other guys, he stored up all the energy for the Buju song, and that's his album out the window.
As it should be.
Exactly what I was about to say. That's what we needed. I love it, and I also really appreciate the album art.
I've not even actually taken it in. Oh, okay.
Yeah, to look at it properly again.
It's nice to hear. It's also just really nice to hear Buju do like something that sounds like this. I don't know. You know, it's he's got some good songs.
And he won the 10v10. He won the No Signal 10v10 the other day. So I mean, he's living a good time right now. All right, I think that's the episode. You can catch Melissa on our post show, The Wheel Up, which is over on our Patreon. So go head over there, give us a little bit of money. It helps us out make these. We make them for free, and we'd like to start paying the peeps that help us make them, you know, income and that. But yeah, check out Melissa. She's going to be bigging up some artists about who she wants to make a play with in our mystical theatre. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on VibeCheck, Melissa. Love to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Somehow my love is still feeling, but it's intangible. Wow, fuck the long shit, keep it simple. I can't change my energy, can't fake it. When I'm with you, I feel I can fly. And if this goes and we fall into stasis, not rugby, you won't tackle my pride. Fat pride, wow pride, wow pride, wow.